I am continuing in my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am continuing reading in a chronological order, according to event, not according to publication or volume. So I'm skipping around a bit as I move along. So we are now starting in chapter 1 of Helaman, entering into the period that I personally refer to as the time of the Gadianton robbers. This chapter is a little bit long, so we will be dividing it. In this video, I will be reading the first 17 verses. And remember, this is just after all the really big wars with the Lamanites. Moronihah has died, his son is now the chief captain. Helaman is dead, his son is now the high priest. Pahoran is still the chief judge. And that's where we're set when we pick this up in chapter 1. Pahoran II becomes chief judge and is murdered by Kishkumen. Pacumeni fills the judgment seat. Coriantumr leads the Lamanite armies against Zarahemla and slays Pacumeni. Moronihah defeats the Lamanites and retakes Zarahemla, and Coriantumr is slain. And now behold, it came to pass in the commencement of the 40th year of the reign of the judges over the people of Nephi, there began to be a serious difficulty among the people of Nephi. For behold, Pahoran had died, and gone the way of all the earth. Therefore there began to be a serious contention concerning who should have the judgment seat among the brethren who were the sons of Pahoran. Now these are their names who did contend for the judgment seat, and who did also cause the people to contend: Pahoran, Paanchi, and Pacumeni. Now these are not all the sons of Pahoran, for he had many, but these are they who did contend for the judgment seat. Therefore they did cause 3 divisions among the people. Nevertheless it came to pass that Pahoran was appointed by the voice of the people to be chief judge and a governor over the people of Nephi. And it came to pass that Pacumeni, when he saw that he could not obtain the judgment seat, he did unite with the voice of the people. But behold, Paanchi and that part of the people that were desirous that he should be their governor was exceedingly wroth. Therefore he was about to flatter away those people to rise up in rebellion against their brethren. And it came to pass, as he was about to do this, behold, he was taken and was tried according to the voice of the people, and condemned unto death. For he had raised up in rebellion and sought to destroy the liberty of the people. Now when those people who were desirous that he should be their governor saw that he was condemned unto death, therefore they were angry, and behold, they sent forth one Kishkumen, even to the judgment seat of Pahoran, and murdered Pahoran as he sat upon the judgment seat. And he was pursued by the servants of Pahoran, but behold, so speedy was the flight of Kishkumen, that no man could overtake him. And he went unto those that sent him, and they all entered into a covenant, yea, swearing by their everlasting Maker, that they would tell no man that Kishkumen had murdered Pahoran. Therefore Kishkumen was not known among the people of Nephi, for he was in disguise at the time. Therefore Kishkumen was not known among the people of Nephi, for he was in disguise at the time that he murdered Pahoran. And Kishkumen and his band, who had covenanted with him, did mingle themselves among the people in a manner that they all could not be found. But as many as were found were condemned unto death. And now, behold, Pacumeni was appointed, according to the voice of the people, to be a chief judge and a governor over the people, to reign in the stead of his brother Pahoran, and it was according to his right. And all this was done in the 40th year of the reign of the judges, and it had an end. And it came to pass in the 41st year of the reign of the judges, that the Lamanites had gathered together an innumerable army of men, and armed them with swords, and with scimitars, and with bows, and with arrows, and with headplates, and with breastplates, and with all manner of shields of every kind. And they came down again, that they might pitch battle against the Nephites. And they were led by a man whose name was Coriantumr. And he was a descendant of Zarahemla, and he was a dissenter from among the Nephites. And he was a large and a mighty man. Therefore the king of the Lamanites, whose name was Tubaloth, who was the son of Ammoron, supposing that Coriantumr, being a mighty man, could stand against the Nephites with his strength and also with his great wisdom, insomuch that by sending him forth he should gain power over the Nephites. Therefore he did stir them up to anger, and he did gather together his armies, and he did appoint Coriantumr to be their leader, and did cause that they should march down to the land of Zarahemla to battle against the Nephites. So here we have the beginning of secret combinations among the Nephites. 3 sons of Pahoran are campaigning to be the next chief judge. And when I say campaigning, I mean campaigning. I think they were campaigning very much like we do in the modern day. They were going from town to town saying, this is why you should vote me in, this is my plan, this is what I will do as the chief judge. And the people all come together and they vote. Now Pahoran, the second, wins the vote, and he becomes chief judge. Pacumeni, he's a little annoyed at it, but he's okay. We had a fair election, I lost, so we'll support the winner. Pahoran, he starts an armed insurrection. He actually is planning a rebellion. Just like the Kingmen a few years earlier. Remember, the Kingmen were put down in like the 30th year. This is the 40th year. It was only 10 years ago that we had this war with the Lamanites, and the Kingmen really threatened the safety of the people. And now Pahoran is planning a new Kingmen insurrection. If you're not going to vote me in, I'm going to rise up in rebellion and take control because I want power. It's the same thing the Kingmen were doing 10 years earlier. People they're not going to stand for this. There's no hesitation here. Pahoran is arrested, and Pahoran is forced to oversee his trial and conviction and execution. He has to execute his own brother for the safety of his nation. Because they remember, most of these people were fought in that war. These aren't just, these aren't the children, these aren't the grandchildren, these are the people who fought against the Lamanites. They remember what the Kingmen had done, and they're not going to tolerate it now. And that's when we get the conspiracy. Those who follow Pahoran and were planning the rebellion, they just realize we can't do an open rebellion. There's not enough of them. They're not strong enough. But if we can sneak in and do some subtle things, maybe we can insinuate ourselves and take power anyways. So they murder Pahoran. Pacumeni becomes the new chief judge. He's brought in by the people. It says it was his right. And that is, I believe this is saying, Pahoran is killed in the first year of his time as judge. And so it's just the runner-up becomes the new chief judge. It's kind of like if the president dies, the vice president becomes president. Pahoran is killed, his brother, who had the second most votes, becomes the new chief judge. Now we have all this turmoil once again. The secret combination is there. They're spreading themselves out. Secret contacts, secret, maybe handshakes, whatever, to identify each other. And they start the secret and as this turmoil is building, as this darkness is starting to build within the Nephites, a new army of Lamanites marches forth. Now, Ammoron was king of the Lamanites. He was a Nephite who had become king. Amalickiah. Amalickiah became king first, but they both were Nephites. Ammoron was killed 10 years earlier. His son, Tubaloth, is now king of the Lamanites. Coriantumr, we're not told when he descended. He may have been one of Amalickiah's servants. That maybe he was one that actually murdered the old Lamanite king. I kind of doubt it. I think he's a more recent dissenter. And because if he had been in the army already, then it wouldn't have spurred this, it wouldn't have inspired this invasion. So I think he's a more recent Nephite descendant. And when he comes and joins the Nephites, Tubaloth sees him and says, okay, now this is somebody who can lead the army. And they march out to attack the Nephites. And they march straight to the land of Zarahemla. They don't go past, or they don't try to attack the border forts. They go right to the heart of the Nephite land. That's where we end it. And we will finish this chapter in the next video, so I will see you there.